Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Jai Shri Ram. Welcome to our next episode in our complete reading of Srimad Valmiki Ramayana. In the previous episode, we saw how Maricha was trying to install some sense into Ravanasura. We still have not seen Ravanasura's reaction. Till now, Maricha spoke about how Ravana was not having a good spy system and why he was believing a lot of lies that Dasharatha Maharaja sent out Sri Rama and all. He talks about the good things in Sri Ramachandra. He gives the sloka Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha, and he describes all the good quality of Sri Ramachandra. He talks about the conditions through which Sri Ramachandra had come into the forest and all. Now he is talking about Sri Ramachandra's Parakrama or Sri Ramachandra's boldness and his skill in the war. So he is starting by saying Kadachidapyaham Virat पर्यटन पृथ्वीमां बलं नागसास्यस्य धारयन् पर्वतोपमः नीलजीमूत संकासः तप्तकाञ्चनकुण्डलः भयं लोकस्य जनयन् किरीटिपरिघायितः यशरं दण्डकारण्यं ऋषिमांसानि भक्षयन्. At one point of time, I had a body which was as big as a mountain. I had the energy of 1,000 elephants. I was also fearless. I was also careless. The way you are behaving right now, I was 10 times to that. I was constantly in a feeling that I had no equals, and I used to wear wonderful golden kundalams to my ears. Okay, those are the ornaments that you put on your ears. And I used to wear a wonderful crown on my head. I used to have a parigha, a weapon in my hand, and I used to terrorize the whole world. I used to go to rishis. I used to kill them. I used to feast on their flesh, and I used to roam freely in Dandakaranya. And my time was so bad that once I went and started disturbing even the yajnas that Vishwamitra Maharshi was doing. Vishwamitra Maharshi went to Dasharatha Maharaja and he asked Dasharatha Maharaja that Sri Ramachandra and Lakshmana be sent with him for the protection of yajna. And oh Ravana, do you know how beautiful Sri Ramachandra was at that particular point of time? He was such a small boy. Balod Dvadarsha Varshoyam Krutastas Raghavah Kamantam Yatsenam Maya Sahagamishyati. Dasharatha Maharaja told Vishwamitra that Sri Ramachandra was only 12 years old. In Balakanda, we see that Dasharatha Maharaja says, Una Shodasa Varshome. So, in a way, we can take both because Dasharatha Maharaja said he did not even turn 16. Here, Maricha is saying that Sri Ramachandra was only of 12 years of age at that particular point of time. And Dasharatha Maharaja offered that he will come with all the army and fighters, but Vishwamitra Maharshi was adamant that only Sri Ramachandra needs to be sent. Dasharatha Maharaja had to cave in, and he sent out Sri Ramachandra and Lakshmana along with Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra Maharshi brought them to the ashrama, and Sri Ramachandra and Lakshmana, they were guarding the yajna, and for 6 days they protected the yajna. Then we tried to attack them, and at that particular point of time, Sri Ramachandra did not even grow a mustache. He was a brahmachari, hence he was wearing only one cloth. In his neck there was a golden mala, and he had a long hair, so he tied his long hair like a bun on his head, and he was holding a dhanush in his hands. He was looking as beautiful as a moon who has just entered the skies. I mean, immediately after nightfall, when you see the moon, right, it will a feast to our eyes, right? So Maricha is saying, looking at Sri Ramachandra was such a feast for his eyes, and because I was so immersed, or I was so drunk on my own power and my own energy, I went to Vishwamitra Ashrama once again, and I thought, this boy, who is this boy who is standing in front of the Yajnashala? He will not be able to harm me. But then that boy, that Sri Ramachandra, he just shot one arrow towards me, and that kicked me out from there all the way to the sea that was 100 yojanas long, which essentially means that the hit ensured that Maricha was landing in Lanka. And that's how I ended up here. And oh Ravana, at that particular point of time, Sri Rama did not really want to harm. So he just hit me with one arrow. He did not want to kill me, hence he just hit me there. He's saying, Tena Mukta Sato Banaha, Sita Saturnivarhana, Tenaham Twahata Kshiptaha Samudre Sadayojane. And I fell on the other side of the sea. After falling, after some time, I regained my consciousness, and from then till now, I am always afraid of Ramabana. Akurvanto vipapani suchayah papa samsriyad paripapair vinasyanti matsya naga hradeyadha. If you want to live a happy life, you should never get into people who do a lot of adharma. If you get in association with any person who does bad things or Ravana, your entire life will get spoiled. See, there will be snakes in the lakes, and there will be fish also in the lakes. Okay, but if fish try to enter into a lake in which there are a lot of snakes, they all will die. And if those snakes think that they are going to live very happily in that pond, no. At one point of time, the people who are taking care of the pond will realize that there are too many snakes in it, and they'll get people to bring all those snakes out and kill them. So these fish which are there inside, they will die not just because of those snakes over there, but just because they are in the presence of the snakes. These people who have come with sticks and all in their hands to harm the snakes, they will harm the fish also over there. Hence, a fish, whenever it's near a snake, it will be killed. So, O Ravana, please ensure that you are making friendships with good people, and there is someone who is misleading you in this entire thing. Because O Ravana, Sri Ramachandra is an honest person, and you are trying all sorts of tricks on him without he coming to you, without he disturbing you in any way. So you are making a colossal step, or you are making a colossal mistake, Ravana, is what Maricha is trying to put forth here. And then he is saying, Paradarahi marisattu nanyat papataram mahat pramadanam sahasrani tavarajan parigraha. Why are you after somebody else's wife? You have thousands of wives in your own house. So go back to your home and stay happily. Kalatrani saumyani mitravargam tadhevaja idhichaschiram bhoktum makurha rama vipriyam. Oh Ravana, enjoy with your friends in the works that you are doing. If you really go and touch Sri Ramachandra, you would die unnecessarily. So that's what Maricha was trying to say. And then Maricha also is now explaining the mistakes that he did. Even he is not saying that, okay, some long time ago, when Sri Ramachandra was only like 12 to 16 years of age, I tried to disturb Vishwamitra's yajna, and then he hit me with an astra and all. And if you think that I am singing his praises just because of that one incident, no, I have other experiences also. What are those experiences? He is now explaining. He is saying, Oh Ramana, now we are entering the 39th sarga, because these things are not very famous, and they are not told, or they are not shown in our serials and all. This is where Maricha is closing or wrapping up his bodha to Ravanasura. So he's saying, राक्षसाभ्याम अहम द्वाभ्याम अनिर्विण्णस्तथा कृतः सहितो मृगरूपाभ्याम प्रविष्टो दंडकावनम. Even after being hit by Ramabana or Ravana, I did not completely change. I came to this Dandakaranya. After coming here, I changed myself into a deer. I mean, they are clearly saying it's Mruga. So one big meaning of Mruga in Sanskrita is deer. So let us take that meaning for now. I started going to all the places, and I started killing people. I even went to important places of pilgrimage, and I did the similar things. Nihati Dandakaranya. So he's coming back to Dandakaranya. He's saying, in this forest of Dandakaranya, Nihati Dandakaranya Tapasan Dharmacharana Rudhrani Bimstesham Tadha Mamsani Bhakshayan. In this Dandakaranya also, I used to go to all the rishis and munis, and then I used to kill them, and I used to eat them. And as I was doing this, I was in the camouflage of a deer, and I used to do this. And one day, while I was doing all this stuff, Vishmamsam Senakroraha Trasayan Vanagocharan Tadha Rudhiramattoham Vicharan Dharmadushakaha. So I was killing these rishis and munis, I was feasting on their flesh. Along with me, there were a lot of rakshasas to whom I taught as to how we all can hunt, and we all used to metamorphose ourselves into these deers. We used to go into the ashramas those unsuspecting rishis used to let us in, and then we used to kill them and we used to eat them. And when I was doing all these sorts of things in Dandakaranya, one day I saw Sri Ramachandra, Sitama, and Lakshmana walking and entering into the forest, and from that moment I became very, very afraid to go and attack people like that. I quickly ran away from Sri Ramachandra. We came back. Sri Ramachandra still shot two or three arrows to which some of our companions died. I quickly ran away from there. So, oh Ravana, Sri Ramachandra, though he is in the forest, he is looking like a tapasi, he is in his preparation. Never ever touch that man. After that, O Ravana, I ran away from the place. I came to these Himalayas and I started doing tapasya over here, O Ravana. Now I have entered a state where I am seeing Sri Ramachandra everywhere. So we can safely assume that Maricha's second fight or second encounter with Sri Ramachandra was when Sri Ramachandra would have probably just come to the forest, because now Maricha is saying that he got transformed after that, right? He's saying, I started doing tapasya and now I'm having a different problem. Vrukshe vrukshe vasyami chira krishna jinambaram Gruhita Dhanusham Ramam Pasahastamivantakam. So even if I come out, okay, I'm seeing Sri Ramachandra everywhere. On all the trees, I'm seeing Sri Ramachandra. On all the small branches, I'm seeing Sri Ramachandra. Every fruit, I'm seeing Sri Ramachandra. I'm seeing Sri Ramachandra even in the straw. Okay, wherever I go, I'm seeing him only, and I have a feeling that he has come here to kill me. So I'm having these doubts, and I always think that it's Yamadharmaraja who is knocking on my door. Abhi Rama Sahasrani Bhita Pasyami Ravana Rama Bhutamidam Sarvam Maranyam Pratibhatime. Oh Ravana, for me now everywhere I'm seeing, even I'm closing my eyes, I'm seeing Sri Ramachandra. When I'm opening my eyes, I'm seeing Sri Ramachandra. So I'm living in this sort of thing, oh Ravana. Hence, don't count me in your scheme. I cannot come. And forget all this, Ravana. Rakaradini namani ramatrasasya Ravana ratnani radhaschaiva trasam sanjanayantime. Oh Ravana, do you know what my situation is today? If someone comes and says Ra, I am immediately worried if it is the word of Sri Ramachandra. Okay, if he is going to say Sri Rama, that's what I am afraid of. So, oh Ravana, I am not in a position to help you in this. Rane Rameni Yudhyasva Kshamamba Kuru Rakshasa Nacharama Kadhakarya Yedimam Drashtumichasi. O Ravana, if you still think that you can go ahead and fight Sri Ramachandra, please go ahead and fight. Other, if you think my advice is good and sane to you, please go back to your kingdom and start ruling your kingdom. Please don't pull me into this, because I really want to do more and more tapasya. यदि शूर्पणखा हेतो जनस्थान गतः करः अतिवृत्तो हतः पूर्वं रामेण क्लिष्टकर्मणा. You are not inquiring, you have not conducted an inquiry of the people of the Rakshasas who are remaining there. So Maricha is saying you have not put up an inquiry as yet and figured out as to why Sri Ramachandra had to attack the 14,000 people in your army. You should really understand this, and you should also understand, you should also try and verify the statements that are made by Surpanakha. So, oh Ravana, if it is true, I believe that it's true that Sri Rama would have killed all 14,000 Rakshasas. So, you are unnecessarily going into the same path. You will also get hurt. You will also, will get to a situation where you can't even save anything, O Ravana. So please, you yourself might completely get annihilated from the face of the earth. So, O Ravana, please listen to me. Please don't force me into this. Go back to your kingdom, ruminate about this, and then you might get some answers. Saying this, Maricha ends his bodha. As I told you, he is the first person who asks, how did you trust Surpanakha blindly? Now Ravanasura has heard all of this, and then he is saying, Tam padya hita vaktaram marijam rakshasadibha abravit parusham vakyam ayuktam kalachoditaha. After saying all this, also Ravana did not even look in the merits of the argument that was made. He started off by saying, Tadvakir natamam sikyam bhetum ramasya samyuge Papaseelasya murkhasya manushasya visheshatah. How dare you are saying that Sri Rama is a great man in front of me? He is after all a human being. He is just a manushya. This is how Ravana starts off his speech. Here, this wonderful sloka, tam padyahita naktaram maricham rakshasadibha abravit purusham vakyam ayuktam kalachodhah. Here, it is very interestingly put that whatever Maricha told to Ravana, obviously Ravana did not hear it correctly. That's because the death of Ravana is looming near. Now, after he takes Sitama to Lanka, Ravana lives only for 10 months if, at the max. So 10 to 11 months is what he lives. So Valmiki Maharshi himself is saying that the Ravana's time is coming up, and because Yama is on his back, he's circling around Ravana to take away the soul. Probably that's the reason why now Ravana is not able to see merit in whatever our Maricha has told. Now he's going to talk. What he's going to talk is something we'll be seeing in our next episode. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet, sarvam bhi sasmra swancharar vindarpamastu. Swasti. Jai Shri Ram.